Hello friends, how are you doing? Welcome to the YouTube channel HealthQ, the place where my mission is to motivate you to look at the brighter side of the health. As usual, I am back with another video on cerebral palsy, and today I'm going to talk about toe walking in cerebral palsy kids. So make sure to watch this video till the end. बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स ने मुझे ये रिक्वेस्ट की कि मैम मैं टो वॉकिंग के लिए क्या कर सकती हूँ या फिर टो वॉकिंग के लिए हम लोग क्या करें। तो आज का वीडियो इसी के ऊपर डेडिकेटेड है। तो जैसे कि काफ़ी सारे सेरेब्रल पाल्सी बच्चों में या फिर स्पास्टिक डायप्लेजिक बच्चों में एक सबसे आम कॉमन बात होती है, वो है टो वॉकिंग। तो इसका सबसे मेन कारण या सबसे रूट कॉज है स्पास्टिसिटी। स्पास्टिसिटी यानी इंक्रीज इन टोन of the muscle or else increase in the tension of the spastic muscles. Now, spasticity is one of the leading cause for most of the impairments that is seen in cerebral palsy kids, including toe walking gait. Now, toe walking can hamper child's ability to move around, to walk, to stand and run around. Hence, many of the parents are concerned what should be done or else what is the ideal way to manage toe walking. Toe walking is just a sign or else a symptom of increased muscle tone. Like the previous video I showed the shaking of the leg. So if there is a requirement of correction of sign or else a symptom, the correction is required at the root cause, which is in this case again spasticity. Today, instead of talking about why spasticity happens, why toe walking gait is a problem, I will be just sharing with you some of the doable steps that you can do at home with your cerebral palsy child, or is sometimes some intervention that needs to be given to a cerebral palsy child in order to minimize or else reduce the chances of development of toe walking. So the first point out of all and the most important point is early identification and early treatment. And I advocate this in almost all of my videos. The more sooner you identify that your child is having cerebral palsy or else some delayed developmental milestone, the more sooner you would be in acting to it, which means more sooner you would be in starting the exercises that are required in order to prevent the tightness or else spastic development. One more thing, we work on the concept of neuroplasticity, which says that our brain has got 200% more regenerative capacity in the early years than the late years. So if your child is below 7 years of age, he has got much more chances of getting better and getting recovered compared to age where he is above 7 years of age. Hence, it's very important that you start the treatment, which is exercises for your child, as soon as possible. The first thing when it comes to exercising and in order to reduce tiptoe is stretching exercise. Stretching is by far one of the most effective, most important form of exercise in cerebral palsy kids. Because when there is an increase in the tone or if there is spastic calf muscles, it requires continuous lengthening. Now when your baby is young, that is the time where the muscles are more flexible, much more mobile and much more free to play around with. Hence, it's very important that you as a parent should do stretching of the calf muscles on a daily basis. अगर आपका बच्चा 7 साल के कम की उम्र का है तो ज़रूर से जितनी हो सके उतने जल्दी ही आप आपके बच्चे की काफ मसल की स्ट्रेचिंग करना बिल्कुल ना छोड़ें। रोज़ रिलीजियसली इसको एक रिचुअल बना दे कि आपको डेली आपके बच्चे को काफ मसल की स्ट्रेचिंग करनी ही करनी है। और काफ मसल के स्ट्रेचिंग के साथ साथ आपको फुट मसल्स की भी स्ट्रेचिंग करनी इतनी ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है। सो मेक श्योर दैट योर फुट मसल्स आर ऑल्सो बीइंग स्ट्रेच्ड। फुट मसल स्ट्रेचिंग इज नथिंग बट सिंपली moving the foot towards the body, very simply as you're doing in the calf muscle stretching. But here the focus is more on the foot muscles and more on the stretching of the toes. Remember, you need to stretch the greater toe as well while doing the stretching of foot as well as calf muscles. Now, the next thing or is the second thing that you need to do as a parent is the active leg movements. You have to encourage active movements of the leg in the early days itself. As I always mention, जितना आपका बच्चा कम उम्र का है, जितने आपके बच्चे की उम्र कम है, उतना उसके अंदर पोटेंशियल है, उसके अंदर चांसेस है अर्ली रिकवरी की। जैसे जैसे एज बढ़ती जाएंगी, एक टिपिकल पैटर्न्स ब्रेन में ऑलरेडी मूवमेंट के बन जाते हैं, गलत पैटर्न्स भी बन जाते हैं जिसको ब्रेक करना बहुत ही ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है। तो इसीलिए अभी सही तरीके की मूवमेंट्स आप सिखाओगे तो बच्चा बहुत ही आसानी से और बहुत ही अच्छे से अडेप्ट कर लेगा। तो सबसे पहली एक्टिविटी है वो है आइसोलेटेड लेग मूवमेंट। आइसोलेटेड लेग मूवमेंट का मतलब है हर एक लेग का या पैर का या एड़ी के जॉइंट को आपको इंडिविजुअली मूव कराना है। मतलब जैसे ये मेरी उंगली है, समझ लीजिए ये एड़ी है और ये अंगूठा है एड़ी का, तो आपको इसको ऊपर नीचे अप एंड डाउन, दिस इज हाउ यू नीड टू मेक श्योर दैट दिस toe is being moved. Same way at the another small joint. So make sure that each and every joint of the foot is being moved actively, or else sometimes if you feel that your child is not able to move it actively, you have to give some assistance in doing that and do it active passive movement. The second is at the joint level movement. So what do I mean by this? इसमें आपको एक साथ सारे जॉइंट्स की मूवमेंट करानी है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे कोई बच्चा सोया हुआ है, ठीक है, आप उसको बैठ के खड़ा करा रहे हो, तो इसमें 3 जॉइंट की मूवमेंट होती है। आपके एंकल की भी मूवमेंट होंगी, आपके नी की भी मूवमेंट होंगी, आपके हिप की भी मूवमेंट होंगी। अब ये इसलिए ज़रूरी है क्योंकि हमारी जो बॉडी है ना, ये कोऑर्डिनेशन में काम करती है। आवर बॉडी वर्क्स इन कोऑर्डिनेशन, इट इज़ नॉट डिजाइन टू वर्क इन आइसोलेशन, which means our body, if one part of our body is moving, automatically other joints has to move. That's how the movement happens. Hence it's very important whenever you are training your child at home, focus on the entire segment. For example, when it comes to leg, you have to focus from the movement of leg starting from the spine to hip to knee to ankle. So for example, if you are training the toe movement, so simple example is sit to stand training. Whenever you are training your child from sitting to standing movement, at that time this movements will happen in harmony, in synchronization, which needs to be taught in a right way. Hence it's very important that you should do this movement on a regular basis. The next type of movement is a functional movement. So what do I mean by functional movement? Functional movements are the movements that we do in our day-to-day life. So as a parent, it's very important that you introduce functional activities to your child. For example, when a child is using his leg, he might use this while kicking an object, while getting over something, or else while walking or standing. So you have to introduce those kind of movements. You can do this by showing them some play-based activity. For example, kicking a football. This is also a group movement, individual movement at the same time, and functional movement. So you have to look at real life scenarios where all the child will walk, will move, and incorporate all those things in the child's active daily routine of exercises. The third important thing that you can do in order to reduce the spasticity and in order to reduce the level of toe walking is massage. Now massage is super effective in terms of relaxing the muscle, but where most of people go wrong is in the technique of massage. So massage should always be focused towards the midline. Many a times parents or else the massage doer make this mistake of moving the strokes of massage away from the body, but that's not the right pattern. Always make sure all the massaging movements that you're doing should be towards the lymph nodes that are present in the body. And hence make sure whenever you are starting massage or else doing massage of the foot, also start from the greater toe and move towards the ankle joint. That's the right pattern or a slight movement. Now massage shouldn't be too gentle nor be too hard. It should be a firm massage, which means whenever you are massaging, there should be a massaging or a pressure effect that goes very precisely at muscular level. But massage is super important. It doesn't matter what kind of oil or any cream that you use. Actually you can use any of it. I personally recommend using the natural form of oils like coconut oil or else olive oil or else simple desi ghee. Any kind of stuff which act as a good lubricant to the body can be used while massage. But For example, if your child is grown up or else is more than 7 years of age, what should be done if they have developed already toe walking gait? Now the first and most important thing here is application of right braces. So by braces I mean here ankle foot orthosis. I would highly recommend, don't buy a ready-made one, make sure to go for an custom made one, because that is a ideal form of brace which is designed depending on the shape of your child's foot. Now, most of the child complain of pain and discomfort while wearing the braces. So one of the hack that you can use here is, whenever your child is wearing the brace, make sure to give some sort of activity. Maybe it could be in music, it could be in video game, or anything which he engrosses into. So when he is engrossed or diverted into some interesting things that he loved doing, at that time he would not realize how long he has worn that belt or else the brace. Braces can be discomforting initially. The second cause of discomfort of brace happens when its size gets smaller. Even the cerebral palsy kids also grow in their height and size. So does the ankle foot orthosis can get shorter or else smaller and can start giving discomfort. So be watchful in that, and whenever the child starts showing the complaints of discomfort in wearing ankle foot orthosis, make sure to change it and make sure to buy or else get a customized one which is super comfortable for your child. Make sure to introduce a good quality of ankle foot orthosis. Fifth thing that you should do is night splinting. Now night splinting is also very important. Now what happens if a child was wearing ankle foot orthosis for a whole day, but at night if he constantly keep the legs in the dropped position like this, then the muscle again goes into that state of contraction and tightness, which has to be avoided. So night splints actually keep the leg in dorsiflexed or else bent position. So there are few ways with which you can keep the or else maintain the leg of the child in this position. One of that is the night splint. Night splints are available with the orthotic people. You can buy that, or else if you don't want to buy it, very simply just you can keep an hardboard underneath the child's leg and then wrap it around with a belt or else a velcro tape, etc. And if you don't want to do that also, the most simple thing, or else the child should sleep in a way that the foot is facing towards the wall. The foot should lie against the wall or else the backrest of your bed. That would be a way with which the child's foot would be maintained in a dorsiflexion position, which is the most important position in order to prevent development of toe walking. Sixth thing that you should do is encourage the child to stand on the edge of a stair. Now in staircase, if the child's foot is half lying on the stair and the heels are lying outside the stairs, then the child has the ability to go in dorsiflexion, which is an important movement that is required. Now you have to be mindful while doing this exercise. Child tends to develop more of spasticity during this phase. So ये spasticity develop ना हो, इसके लिए आपको ये इंश्योर करना है कि आप ये प्रैक्टिस तभी करें जब आपकी स्ट्रेचिंग कंप्लीटली हो गई है. Without stretching, do not start this activity. Otherwise, the child will tend to develop more of tightness. Make sure the child is in a complete state of relaxation while he is doing this movement. So the next thing that you can do is to teach your child to walk properly. Sometimes walking on toe becomes an habit. It is very convenient. Now why mostly we walk on toes is in order to clear the ground or else move forward. Now whenever there is lack of ankle movements, the child is unable to do that forward walking, and it becomes easy to walk on toes, and it becomes a faster movement, and that's why kids tend to develop. So you have to be consistently behind them in advising them and ordering them that don't walk on toes. बच्चे को कई बार आदत की वजह से टो वॉकिंग हो जाता है. ये इसलिए होता है क्योंकि मसल्स काफ के वीक होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से बच्चे एडिक्वेट अपना जो पैर है उसको अच्छे से उठा नहीं पाते हैं, ग्राउंड को ठीक से क्लियर नहीं कर पाते और उनके लिए टो पे चलना आसान हो जाता है और इसीलिए वो टो वॉकिंग को प्रेफर करते हैं। लेकिन ये इसके वजह से दूसरे हानिकारक चीज़ें भी होती है, जैसे जॉइंट पे ज़्यादा प्रेशर आता है, मसल ठीक से डेवलप नहीं होते। तो इसीलिए ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि आप कंटिन्यूसली एज एन पेरेंट बच्चे को टोकिए जब भी वो टो वॉकिंग कर रहे हैं और उनको सही तरीका चलने का सिखाएं। जब वो सीखेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो माइंडफुल रहेंगे खुद से चलते वक्त। ये शायद 100% सारे पेरेंट्स के केस में काम ना करे, लेकिन अगर आपके बच्चे के अंदर इतनी ज़्यादा स्पास्टिसिटी नहीं है तो ये मेथड काफ़ी हद तक के हेल्पफुल रह सकती है। अगली चीज़ जो करनी है वो है प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस। हमारे ब्रेन के अंदर न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी की एक प्रॉपर्टी होती है जिसमें हमारे नर्व्स में एक एबिलिटी होती है रीजनरेट करने की, लेकिन ये तभी रीजनरेट होती है जब उसको एक सही एनवायरनमेंट मिलता है और जब उसको बार बार एक ही मूवमेंट का रिपीटेशन होता है। तो मैं आपसे बिल्कुल ये रिक्वेस्ट करूँगी, फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट जब जाता है उसके बाद भी आपको कंटिन्यूएशन में घर पे एक्सरसाइजेस करनी ही करती है। जितनी ज़्यादा बार आप एक्सरसाइज इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे बच्चे को, उतना जल्दी वो सीखेगा और उतना ही अच्छे से उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा। तो बिल्कुल भी बिना भूले आपको ये एक्सरसाइजेस डेली करवानी ही करवानी है। एंड नाउ इफ यू हैव प्रैक्टिस ऑल दिस थिंग्स एंड स्टिल द चाइल्ड इज वॉकिंग on toes, then it is a sign that the spasticity is too much and needs medical intervention. Now, medical intervention mostly consists of Botox injection or else baclofen therapy, or else if both of them doesn't work, then surgical intervention. Remember, don't just stay resistant to any of the methods. Just keep on trying, keep exploring. At different ages, at different level of spasticity, different sort of treatment works. Hence, it's very important to see your physiotherapist, seek their advice, also see a neurologist or else a neuroorthopedician in order to figure out how you can work on improving the level of child's walking. I hope you found this video helpful. If yes, make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends and family member, and do support my channel and my work by subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you can get notified every single time I upload a new video. I'll see you in another video. Thank you.